Hi, it's James. I'm back with another top 10 list. This week we're going to do my top 10 hidden gems that are in my movie collection. These are movies I've tried to tell people about, movies people haven't heard of, or whatever, and I've tried to tell them how good I thought they were and how much I enjoy them, and maybe try to spread the word a little bit. So yeah, let's get into the countdown after I talk about some movies that didn't quite make the list. The honorable mentions for the top 10 list. I'm going to start off with a bunch of movies that didn't quite make my list for one reason or another, but anyways, here they are. First movie is Top Secret, the second movie from the Zucker brothers and Abrams after they did Airplane. It's a misconception that they did Airplane too, but Top Secret was a film that kind of went under the radar in 1984, but it's funny as hell and has literally one of my favorite funny scenes in motion picture history in it. Mystery Men. I wouldn't say it's bad. it tries too hard to be a satire and a spoof, but I find it quite enjoyable. I mean, it is a superhero spoof, but I like it. Gotta throw one of these in. Let's go Godzilla versus Deztroya. It's in the 1990s, Japan started a new revival of the Godzilla movies, and this is the last one. It was entailed. It probably has one of the better Godzilla's movie in that he was literally radioactive, that he was on fire most of the rest from the movie, and it's quite enjoyable. I can't really. If you're not a Godzilla fan, you're not gonna like it, but if you are, you will, and you've probably seen it. And I didn't put Dread on my movie list because it's slowly building a following. It's been building a following for years since it came out. There's always talk about building a sequel to it, so yeah, it's not that people have heard of it. People do hear of it, and they do spread the word. So those are my honorable mentions. So let's get to the list. My number 10 on the hidden gems list. Frequent Bryan Singer collaborator Mike Dory decided he wanted to make his own anthology film based on Halloween. In the mid-2000s, he created a movie called Trick or Treat, which basically takes the tropes of Halloween, such as trick-or-treating, pranks, costumes, what have you, all the traditions of Halloween, and he makes basically like Twilight Zone little stories that go and together, like the Twilight Zone movie. It stars Anna Paquin, Dylan Baker, Brian Cox in it. It's a nice little film that was supposed to be released in 2006, but Warner Brothers couldn't figure out how to market it or whatever, so they sent it straight to DVD and video, and it just has a cult following ever since. So if you like, say, like Tales of the Crypt or the Twilight Zone or the Twilight Zone the movie, I would give this a little watch if you feel like it. Hidden gem number 9. People from my generation know that besides Saturday Night Live, there was competition from Canada called SCTV, basically Second City Television, which is a mock TV station. So in order to compete with the Blues Brothers movie, they released a movie of their own called Strange Brew about the brothers Bob and Doug McKenzie, who did a public access show called The Great White North. So yeah, the movie's about the two brothers and their quest to get a free beer with the mouse in the bottle bit, and they go to the local brewery, and it turns into a great, funny, sometimes stupid, but stupid's always fine, comedy, but kind of surprised at some of the influence, such as Shakespeare's Hamlet and whatnot, but there's a lot to laugh about in this movie. It's quite enjoyable, and if you're, say, younger than 30, you might want to give this a watch. Hidden gem number 8. In the mid to late 70s, the French magazine Metal Hurlant was very popular in Europe. It was brought over to the United States and translated to heavy metal, so people know it as a sci-fi magazine, its own comic store. So Columbia Pictures made a version of to film. with various animation styles to tell the story of a giant evil in the universe and how it existed through so many time periods, past, future, present. And it starred various comedy people at the time, such as John Candy as the voice, Harold Ramis does a voice. It's a peculiar little movie. I like it. It's like the old He-Man cartoons, but darker and more violent and a lot more racy. But if you're an animation buff, you should give it a try. Hidden gem number 7. South Korea tries to give an answer to the Godzilla films with a movie called The Host. It basically is about a creature that's formed in a river by some U.S. general leaving in South Korea years ago, pouring formaldehyde in a river, and it's a mutated creature evolved from it, and it kidnaps a girl and goes to the sewers. Meanwhile, her kooky family tries to get the government and police to help them out, but they're of no avail, so they decide they're going to go after the creature. It's fun at times, it's very scary at times, it's kind of a loose little monster movie, but it's a monster movie nonetheless. The effects are great. And yeah, if you're a Godzilla fan or a movie monster fan, I would watch this movie. And yeah, there are subtitles, there's dubbed, but you know, what are you going to do? It's a monster movie. Take what it is. Hidden gem number 6. At number 6, I have the first film that Jon Favreau and Vince Vaughn ever did, Swingers. I've been approached by a couple of millennials that have never heard of this movie, but people my age know all about the movie. It's a nice little comedy about single life in LA, as Jon Favreau plays the main character, who's a stand-up comedian who's transplanted from New York City. He's trying to get away from a breakup, and Vince Vaughn's one of the pals he meets there, and he's trying to get him to be out there more, you know, embrace life, realize that he's worth more than he thinks he is. And it's great dialogue. It's a funny movie. Really, if you are literally younger than 30, please see this movie. It's great. You'll enjoy it. Hidden gem number 5. B-movie actor Tom Atkins cites Night of the Creeps to be his favorite movie that he's ever done, and it's hard to argue. It's a great movie from 1986, where in 1959 an alien ship crashes, or a mini one does, and alien slugs try to take over a body, but they get killed and are cryogenically frozen. So when a couple college kids in 1986 try to steal a cadaver, only to find that it's the one with the slugs in it, and unwittingly unleash a mini zombie apocalypse across the college town. It's a lot of humor in this movie, a lot of lines, and Tom Atkins is great. And I probably can't do this movie justice with what I'm saying. So if you can find it, if you can watch it, please give it a viewing once or twice. Hidden gem number 4. Chris Evans stars in my next film, but it's not one that you think. It's one of the best sci-fi films of the last 5 years, Snowpiercer. It's a story of class warfare on a train that goes around a frozen Earth that contains the last of humanity, where the upper crust lives towards the front of the train, and the Dredge Society is put to the rear. And it's just one giant film about the class warfare, where the 99% has had enough of the 1% doing what they do every time. In this case, basically just taking a child from one of the members and just causing a revolt to where the lower class starts going car by car to get to the front of the train to take it over or whatever. It's a very intriguing movie, very thoughtful, very well made. One of the great sci-fi movies I've seen in the last 5 years. Snowpiercer. Hidden gem number 3. Having written the screenplay to the 2004 remake of Dawn of the Dead, Universal decided to take a chance on another screenplay by James Gunn, and this time have him direct Slither. It's a heavy influence from one of my previous entries, Night of the Creeps, where space slugs come from outer space and start infecting everybody and make them into cannibalistic zombies. But it's more humor. It's along the same lines. Has Nathan Fillion as the hero sheriff in it. Michael Rooker as Grant, basically the villain of the piece, and Elizabeth Banks as the woman they both pined for. It's a wild movie. It's got a lot of gore. It's got a lot of sick humor to it. I enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie. All these movies on my list, I enjoy. That's why they're hidden gems. And this one, I love a lot. But why is it not on Blu-ray? Why? That's just sad. Hidden gem number 2. A man tries to find his place in a world he's not even sure about, while he's being chased by men in black outfits in not The Matrix, in Dark City. A movie that was misadvertised. People don't really understand. The studio don't understand how to distribute it, but it's a completely original story. It's a good story. It's a fantastic story. I'm not sure if it's original. It's got a lot of influences from Metropolis, influences from anime style. There's a lot of noir in the movie. Just when I first saw the revelation of the movie, my mind exploded. It's one of the great science fiction. It's better than The Matrix. I'll say that without a doubt. But it's one of the great science fiction movies of the last, say, almost 20 years now. But not many people have seen it or heard it that I know of. I bring this title up and people are like, nope. So it's one that's fallen through the cracks, but it's a great hidden gem. And if you ever, it shows up on cable every now and again. So if you get a chance, please watch it. You won't regret it. If you like that Metropolis type of feel, that noir, that true, well-written sci-fi movie, I would watch Dark City. And the number 1 movie hidden gem that's in my collection is... Now, for the number 1 hidden gem in my collection, I have a film that even Bruce Campbell fans haven't seen because they've told me, or even heard of. It's called Bubba Hotep. Basically, in the movie, directed by the guy who brought you the original Phantasm movies, Bruce Campbell plays a 70-year-old Elvis who went into hiding in the 1970s, and he's in a nursing home with a black man who believes he's JFK because the CIA darkened his skin and whatever. He's played by Ozzie Davis. And basically the movie is about a mummy that's killing people in the nursing home, so it's up to Elvis and JFK to stop him. You can't make this stuff up. It's a weird movie, yes. I love weird movies. I love Bruce Campbell movies because you expect a certain thing from a Bruce Campbell movie. And this is a great Bruce Campbell movie. It's up there with Evil Dead's. It's emotional at times, funny at times, a little scary at times, but I can't recommend Bubba Hotep highly enough to people. So there you go. Those were my 10 hidden gems in my movie collection. Thanks for watching. If you have any more ideas for a top 10 list or a bottom 10 list, please either leave a comment below or contact me at any of my contact addresses, and you can find them on the other videos. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you for another top 10 or bottom 10 video next week.